So these are the two options the girls can do, a square knot keychain or a spiral knot keychain. Every girl will have a kit. She can pick out the color she wants. Long tails, short tails. If she pulls the long tails, the knot will come undone. She can pull the D-ring off. So first step, if she has some that look kind of short, we want them to be at least 24 inches. Just pull them a little, just pull, and then they'll be long enough. These are already plenty long. So first step is to fold down about 1/3. If I'm not sure if it's 1/3, I can pull up the other edge and, ooh, that was too much. So I'm going to fold down less. And sure enough, that's 1/3. So I'm going to put that back, and now I can fold the other one about the same length. Step 1. Next step, I'm going to pick up one of my loops. I'm going to put it through the D-ring, and I'm making a lark's head knot. This is a standard way to start projects. I put the loop through, I reach in with my thumb and finger, and I grab the tails and pull them through the loop. And what I've made now is a lark's head knot. So there's a bar that goes across, and these two. If you turn it around, this is a reverse lark's head, and there's 2 little pieces, and then these 2 pieces. Okay, so there's my lark's head knot, and if I look, my short end is here, my long end here. I'm going to push it towards the long end so that I can put my next one in.
So towards the outside.
Towards the outside, yes. Towards the outside. Push the long end towards the outside. And now I have room here to put my other one. Okay, so now I'm going to pick this up. This is my lark's head, so I need to go through this way. This is the front of the lark's head, and you always go front to back for a standard lark's head. I put it through. Now, I should probably make sure, you see how my long one is going to end up in the middle right now. So I'm just going to give this a twist. I want my short end to end up in the middle. Okay, so if I lay this out, here now my long end is on the outside, short end is in the middle. So I take my loop and I reach through the loop, I grab the tails, pull them through the loop, and pull tight. So that's my beginning. If I was doing a big macrame wall hanging, I would have a bar and I would have about 20 of these. But we're just doing a little keychain.
2 minutes,
So
30 seconds.
Now, next thing I would recommend either hooking this onto something, or in our case, we're just going to tape them down. We're going to tape those down. We're going to tape down these inner ones are either called the filler cord because they're going to fill the knots here, or they're also called the standing cords because they're just standing around doing nothing. We're going to do these are called the working cords because they're doing all the work. So first thing, we make a number 4 with the left side. So there's my bar and there's my 4, sort of. Then you take the other one, go over the tail of the 4, underneath the filler cords, and up through the loop of the 4. And then start to pull tight. And I try to do this evenly. I try to keep this somewhat even. And I pull them all the way up to the top. And this stuff is so stretchy, so they want to twist, but that's okay. So I'm going to pull it tight. Now at this point, the girl has to decide, am I making a square knot? Actually, let me put this on this side. Am I making a square knot or am I making a spiral? If they're making a square knot, they started with the 4, now they're going to make a P, starting with the right side, over the tail, under the standing, up through the loop, pull tight. And then they'll go back. Make a number 4, over the tail, under the standing, up through the loop, pull tight. But I don't want to pull tight because I want to make a spiral. Okay, for the spiral, you're not going to alternate. You're just going to always use whatever cord is on the left side. So I make my number 4. I go under the tail, under the standing, up through the loop, and pull tight. And these, I guess it doesn't matter if those center ones spiral as well. So, and you just keep doing number 4 up through the loop. Why don't you pause it here while I do, oh, actually, wait. You see how, I'm going to do one more. And you see how it's already starting to spiral. Okay? So, and that's going to get awkward if she's trying to loop this way with the rope that wants to go this way. So just tell the spiral girls whenever they need to flip the ropes to the opposite sides, and then just keep starting from the left. Even when they flip them, they still have to start from the left. And they always do the same thing. And why don't you pause it now?
Rolling.
Okay, so I'm going to do one more. I think this is getting long enough. You don't want to let these get too short. They should have probably at least 3 inches left at the end, but this is still plenty long. I could go longer, but then your keychain gets really long. So at this point, we're going to take the tape off and we're going to tie our final knot. And to tie the knot, you're going to take whichever one of these 4 is the longest. So for me, that's this one. And once you come up close for this.
Or do you want to show which one's the longest again, quick? Just.
Oh. Well, doesn't matter. I mean,
okay.
This is the longest.
Yeah, just...
So, yep.
Hey Lou, can you walk up
Okay,
again?
and now you're going to loop over once, and you're going to stay somewhat loose. And you see how it's coming out from there. It doesn't really matter, but I just wanted to point that out right now. Now you're going to loop over again and kind of cross over the first loop. And then come back to the beginning, and at this point you're going to go under both of those loops. Now if we just pulled this tight, you'd get a knot that's like way down here, and so we need to kind of dress the knot, it's called. We need to slowly just pull the different parts of it. So like here, remember how I said the knot is starting here? So I'm going to pull this part of the rope first. I'm going to pull it nice, I'm just kind of pull it. I'm pulling it and I'm pushing it underneath. And you see how if I push it underneath with my finger, then this loop forms. So now I'm going to hold that. This might be the hardest part, but hopefully they have plenty of time to figure it out. Can you stop moving? You're making me seasick.
My arm hurts.
Okay, and now you pull this one up, push it underneath, and you see how if I do that, now this loop forms. And then the final step to get rid of this loop is to find the tail and to pull the tail into a knot. And there we have our knot. Now we're almost done. The final thing to do is decide how you want to end these. I think these are a little too long. So one idea is to tie knots, overhand knots, where you just make a loop and pull it through. And I like to cut them close. If it's this long, you could even do a couple knots if the girls wanted to. Or you see how these end blunt cut? These ones on this side, I cut them, I unrolled, and I cut them in a diagonal so that when they roll back up again, you get a little bit of a twisty spiral, which kind of looks interesting too. And that's it. You cut these off and your keychain is done.